Hello everyone. Let's discuss Geoffrey Chaucer's The Prologue to the Canterbury Tales. The Prologue to the Canterbury Tales, composed between 1387 to 1400. Geoffrey Chaucer, 1340 or 1345 to 1400. The prologue serves as the introduction to Chaucer's great work, The Canterbury Tales, presenting a diverse groups of pilgrims travelling to Canterbury to visit the shrine of St. Thomas Becket. Each character represents a different social class, profession, and a moral standing, offering a detailed snapshot of a medieval society. The poem is written in East Midland dialect, which is a type of a London dialect. Chaucer's prologue introduces a richly diverse group of travellers, each representing different social class, professions, and moral values. Through humour, irony, and a vivid description, Chaucer creates an engaging portrait of medieval society. The setting of the poem. The pilgrims meet at the Tabard Inn, Southwark, before beginning the journey. They travel together from London to Canterbury. Then the storytelling contest. That is, the host, named Harry Bailey, suggests that each pilgrim tells 2 stories on the way to Canterbury and 2 on the way back. That means overall 120 stories were in plan. But the plan actually is not seen fulfilled in the book. Chaucer only completed 24 tales before his death. Chaucer's role. As one of the pilgrims, Chaucer presents each character with a sharp description, humour, and irony. Sources for the Canterbury Tales. Geoffrey Chaucer drew inspiration from a wide range of sources for the Canterbury Tales, including classical literature, religious texts, medieval romances, and folk traditions. Here are some of the key sources. First one, classic sources. For example, Ovid's Metamorphoses inspired elements in The Knight's Tale and The Manciple's Tale. Then a Virgil's Aeneid influence can be seen in a House of Fame story, which shares themes with the Canterbury Tales. Then a Boyte's Cancellation of Philosophy, a philosophical influence on The Knight's Tale and the Tale of Melibea. Then biblical and religious texts. The Bible influenced many moral lessons and themes in the Parson's Tale and the Partner's Tale are based on biblical teachings. Saints' legends and sermons used in The Second Nun's Tale and the Parson's Tale. Then we can also see Pope Innocent III's De Miseria Cantationis Human, that is influencing the Monk's Tale. Then we can see medieval literature and romances influencing the Canterbury Tales. For example, Boccaccio's The Decameron, a major influence on Chaucer's storytelling structure, and some individual tales like The Knight's Tale. then Guillaume de Laris and Jean de Moon's Roman de la Rose. That is a French allegorical poem that influenced the Wives of Bath's tale. Then we can see Marie de Francis Lace, Mary's Lace, that is short romantic narratives influencing, for example, the Franklin's Tale and the Wife of Bath's Tale. Then we can see English and European literary traditions. The Gesta Romanorum, a collection of moralized tales influencing the Clerk's Tale and the Partner's Tale. Then the Legendia Aurea by Jacobus de Voragine, that is a source for the Second Nun's Tale about a Saint Cecilia. Then we can see the Roman de Renat, that is French beast fables, influencing the tales like the Nun's Priest Tale. Then contemporary and folklore influences we can see like Fableux, that is French comic tales, the Bowery humorous tale like the Miller's Tale and the Reeve's Tale come from this tradition of Fableux. Then medieval courtly love tradition, that is present in the Knight's Tale and the Franklin's Tale. Then the folk tale and popular legends, that is the Partner's Tale about a greed, and the Wife of Bath's Tale, which is a fairy tale like story reflecting oral storytelling traditions. Now let's be familiar with the list of pilgrims. The 30 pilgrims. First of all, we have the knight, then the squire, that is the knight's son, then the yeoman, that is knight's servant, then the prioress, that is Madame Eglantine, then the second nun, that is prioress assistant, then the monk, then we have the friar, that is Hubert, then the merchant, then the clerk, also called the Oxford scholar, then we have the lawyer, that is sergeant at law, then we have Franklin, that is wealthy landowner, then we have the haberdasher, the carpenter, the weaver, the dyer, the tapestry maker, the cook, the shipman or the sailor, the doctor or the doctor of physician, then the wife of Bath, the parson, that is virtuous priest, then the plowman, that is parson's brother, then the miller, that is strong crude man, then we have municipal, that is caterer, then we have the reeve, that is estate manager, then we have the samana, church officer, then the partner, that is fraudulent preacher, then we have the canon's yeoman, that is who joins later in the story, then we have the host Harry Bailey, and finally we have our narrator Geoffrey Chaucer, narrator and pilgrim. Now let's be familiar with the characters in a little bit detail. First of all, we have the knight, who is a brave, noble, and experienced warrior, having fought in many battles, represents chivalry and honor. He is modest and humble, despite his high status. Then we have the squire, that is the knight's son, a young and a handsome man. He loves music, poetry, dancing, and a courtly romance. A contrast to his father, He is more interested in love than battle. Then we have the young man, who is a servant to the knight. He is skilled in archery and woodcraft. He wears a green cloak and carries a bow and arrows. Then we have Prioress, that is Madame Eglantin, who is a nun with a courtly manners, more interested in elegance and romance than religion. She is a dainty and sentimental and wears a love charm, and which suggests her worldly desires. Then we have the monk. He loves hunting, fine food, and a luxury rather than prayer and simplicity. He wears fine clothes and jewelry, ignoring monastic rules. Then we have the friar, whose name is Hubert. He's a corrupt church official, taking bribes for easy confessions. He's flirty and charming, enjoys drinking and music, and he associates with wealthy merchants instead of the poor. Then we have the merchant, who is a wealthy and fashionably dressed person, but secretly he is in debt. He is skilled in business and trade, yet is not entirely honest. Then we have the clerk, who is an Oxford scholar. He is a poor student who spends all his money on books. He speaks wisely, but only when necessary. He represents the love of learning over material wealth. Next we have the lawyer, sergeant at the law, who is a successful and knowledgeable lawyer, and he pretends to be busier than he actually is. Then we have the Franklin, is a wealthy landowner known for his hospitality and a love of food. He is an Epicurean, meaning that he believes pleasure is the key to a good life. Then we have the guilesman, haberdasher, carpenter, weaver, dyer, tapestry maker. So these people, total 5 people here, middle-class tradesmen, well-dressed and ambitious. Their wives push them to climb the social ladder. Then we have the cook, who is a skilled chef, but has a disgusting sore on his leg, that is implying corruption. Then we have a shipman or the sailor, a ruthless and dishonest person known for stealing wine from merchants. He is skilled in navigation and battle. Then we have the doctor, intelligent but motivated by greed. He bases medicine on astrology rather than science. Then we have the wife of Bath, who is a bold and independent woman with 5 husbands. She is experienced in love and travel, having visited many pilgrim sites. She wears red stockings, symbolizing passion and confidence. Then we have the parson, a truly virtuous priest dedicated to helping the poor. He is humble and selfless, unlike other corrupt clergy members. The next is plowman. The plowman is the parson's brother. He is a hard-working farmer. He is an honest person, kind, and a charitable person. Next we have the miller, a brawny and a crude man known for cheating customers. He loves dirty jokes and wrestling. Then the manciple. Manciple is a caretaker who is smarter than the lawyers he serves. He's good at managing finances despite being illiterate. Then we have the reeve, a strict and calculating estate manager. He's good at financial deception, knows how to steal without getting caught. Then we have the samana, who is a corrupt church official who blackmails people. He's ugly and unpleasant and loves drinking and women. Then we have the partner, who is a dishonest preacher selling fake relics for money. He is greedy and hypocritical, but an excellent storyteller. Next, we have the host Harry Bailey, who is the innkeeper and a leader of the pilgrimage. He is a friendly person, witty, and a practical person. He proposes the storytelling contest. Then finally we have Chaucer, who is the poet and a narrator. Now let's be familiar with some of the most important lines from Prologue to the Canterbury Tales. The first line itself, the poem begins with the lines, "When that April with his sour sword the drought of March had purged to the root." This opening line describes the arrival of spring with April's sweet rain ending the dryness of March. It symbolizes renewal and sets the tone for the pilgrimage as nature awakens and people feel inspired to travel. Then London folk to go on pilgrimages and palmers for to seek strange saunters. With the spring's arrival, people desire to go on pilgrimages. The mention of palmers refers to travelers visiting distant holy places, showing how medieval society valued religious journeys. And especially from every shire and of England to Canterbury they went. These pilgrims from all over England are travelling to Canterbury to visit the shrine of St. Thomas Becket. This line highlights the wide appeal of religious devotion and sets the story's central journey in motion. And I divorce and that a worthy man, that for the time that he first began to ride out, he loved chivalry, truth and honor, freedom and courtesy. Here, Chaucer introduces the knight as the ideal medieval warrior, embodying chivalry, truth, honor, generosity, and courtesy. This description sets him apart as a noble and admirable character. Full well she sung the service done, entombed in his nose full assembly. This line humorously describes the prioress. She sings religious hymns but with a nasal tone. It subtly mocks her pretensions of refinement and shows Chaucer's skill in satire. But Christ Lord and his apostles 12 he taught, and first he flawed it himself. This line praises the parson, a truly virtuous and humble clergyman. Unlike a corrupt church officials, he practices what he preaches, embodying Christian values. And gladly would he learn and gladly teach. Chaucer's description of the clerk or the scholar highlights his deep love for learning and teaching. He values knowledge over material wealth, presenting an idealized image of an intellectual. Now had the sun his half goes when, and a small flowers make melody, that sleep at the night with open eye. That means the sun has moved halfway through its course, that is springtime has fully arrived, and small birds are singing merrily. This line continues the vivid description of nature's awakening, emphasizing the joy and the energy of the season. Full of time he had the bard begun above all nations in prose. This describes the knight's high status in battle. He has often been given the place of honor at the table, showing his experience and reputation in military campaigns across Europe. He was a very prophet, gentle knight. Here, the knight is described as the perfect and a true gentleman. Chaucer presents him as an ideal noble warrior, embodying all the virtues of chivalry. She would weep if there she saw a mouse caught in a trap, if it were deed or blood. This line describes the prioress, emphasizing her delicate and exaggerated sense of compassion. She cries over a trapped mouse, which hints at her artificial refinement rather than deep religious devotion. His head was bald, that shone as any glass, and his face as he had been enjoying. Chaucer humorously describes the monk, who is bald and has a shiny head. Instead of living a humble monastic life, he enjoys worldly pleasures, reflecting the corruption in some religious figures. But albeit that he was a philosopher, yet had he but a little gold in coffer. This describes the clerk or the Oxford scholar who is highly educated but poor. He spends all his money on books instead of material possessions, showing his dedication to learning. Gold in physic is a cordial, therefore he loved gold in special. This describes the physician who loves gold because it is believed to have healing properties. However, Chaucer subtly suggests that the physician is more interested in wealth than in genuinely healing his patients. If gold rests, what shall iron do? The parson, a truly virtuous priest, asks if religious leaders, that is gold, become corrupt, what hope is there for ordinary people, that is iron? This line criticizes the moral decline of the clergy. And yet he had a tomb of gold party. This describes the miller, who is a dishonest grain merchant. The phrase "thump of gold" suggests that he cheats by using his thumb to press down on the scale when weighing grain. Till there we come to Canterbury town. The line marks the end of the prologue's introduction, setting the stage for the storytelling competition among the pilgrims as they journey to Canterbury.